electric cars. Electric cars, very brief video here. In my last video entitled Electric Vehicle British Sales Figures Are in Dispute, the 12th of February 2004. There are a lot of good comments there. One by Bobby Bob. What about the €4 million for Hitachi to come from Japan to put charging stations for buses in Dublin? They will be like voting machines. So 4 million to Japan. So why can't the Irish put in the charging stations? But I made the point in the video that the commercial and the state buying of electric vehicles is not what counts. And the British government themselves, and most governments accept, that the transition to electrification of transport must involve the private motorists because they are the most numerous. So this is only in its infancy, and if it's to succeed, we would expect the January 2003 figures in Britain to be less than the January 2024, in other words, that there would be an increase, when in fact there's a decrease. And January is a big month for buying new cars. Now we'll see the February figures. I've allowed that. We have to wait for the February figures. And remember, we have to go where there are reliable figures. I'm talking generally here about electric vehicles with batteries, BEVs. And all of the side issues are coming to fore. For example, what do scrapyards do? If your hybrid, for example, ends up in a scrapyard, what do they do with the batteries? They're a fire hazard. Is there any way of recycling them? And what about the electric vehicles, fully electric vehicles? What will there be scrapyards for them? What will happen to them? What is the way? At the moment in Ireland, every county has at least two dismantlers. Most counties have one or two dismantlers. If there's not two in one county, there's one, and there's three somewhere else. So the point about it is dismantlers is a big business. There's 5 or 6 people dismantling and taking out the parts of the cars, and you don't have to buy the new bit, and it works very well. But not for things like brake pads and stuff like that, but it works very well for a lot of stuff. So anyway, these are all issues that are not being addressed and will add to the cost. And one thing that sickens me is this thing, people are turning away from EVs because of the cost. The cost is not, that's not the capital cost. They're dearer to buy. The cost only starts when you get them home. You don't have the garage down the road to go to. They won't touch them with a barge pole. If you're in a tip of an accident, there has to be 15 metres surrounding the car. You can't have anything closer to it. The people argue with me here can't tell me the number of the car that went on fire at McDonald's in Newbridge, County Kildare last year. I say it's a Mercedes hybrid, and that's the information I have from within the motor trade. Now, there's a lad there has been jabbing away there and complaining about it, and he makes the point that you can't separate commercial and private buyers. You can. The whole ethos of the government is to drive forward the private ones, because the person who buys an electric car who's private, a private house, that's probably all the car he has. Whereas the corporate one, a big firm, could have 50 lorries on the road. All the executives could have petrol cars and diesel cars, and they give out a few EVs to their travellers and things like that. That is not a good barometer. That is a limited market, whereas the ordinary person buying the car, the public in general, is what really counts. Nobody disputes that. But that guy there that was on before, is he Sink or something? Anyway, he was complaining about it, and I dealt with that. But there's a fella in here now, and he could be a woman, for all I know, and he could be the same person too as been on before. User him 5EF2AB5H. Why he needs a handle like that, I don't know. But anyway, he says, my God. So the first thing he does is express his shock, and he calls on God to witness it. Very good start. Where to start with this uneducated rant? I'm quoting the figures from the Society of the Motor Manufacturers and Traders of the United Kingdom, as published online. So where is what is education? It is using the available information to inform your presentation, And if the society says it, it's good enough for me, but it doesn't seem to be good enough for him. He said before there was nothing to back me up in the society's figures, and I have produced them. They're there online and all that. So this is what we're dealing with. Do people actually watch these rants and assume them as facts? Yes, they do, because I have sourced them. I meet people every day on the street who tell me they watch them. I go into shops, someone comes over, saw your video, very good, or very bad, or what do you think of this or that? And this happens all the time in the most unusual of places. So they do watch them, and you are the minority, Mr. User, stroke HM. Please stick to the topics you have a good knowledge of. He doesn't say what those topics are. I would speculate that he says you're an old farmer with cows, you stick to the cowshed and let Eamon Ryan of the Green Party deal with the number of cattle you're allowed, with the emissions you're allowed to emit, and with the diesel taxes and all of that. Europe was all up in a heap last week with protests. The EU is reportedly to have backed down. So the farmers came out and went directly against the EU Commission, whom Eamon Ryan and the Green Party, and indeed the other parties, are deeply in love with. So I can't say any more than that. But it's a reason I deal with this. This gives my viewers a knowledge of the opponents, because I am dealing with these for 12 years and I know exactly how they go on. So stick with what you have. So, well, you see, he's not in a position to order me to stick to anything or to adopt any topic. My topics are chosen from ones which I believe my viewers will be interested in or may help viewers. For example, my ones on environmental and planning law are being used all over Ireland to fight all sorts of planning issues, particularly the rollout of wind turbines, which I'm sure Mr. User is very, very bitter that I should do that like that. Now, it's becoming the real true what about ism channel. Now, I presume when he says ism channel, he spells it Chanell. That's a girl's name in France. It's also a name for a pipe. But I presume he means channel as in television channel or presentation channel. And that my YouTube channel, it would be 1L. I'm not making an issue about the spelling, to be honest. That can happen. But the thing about it is becoming an ism channel. Now, ism, so what's the problem with ism? Ism is a well-known term. It's a suffix. There is ism. I mean, there's communism still in North Korea and still in Cuba, maybe China. What is the problem with it? Like, woke is the proper name for the wokes, but wokeism is a suffix which would be applicable, and greenism is a green thing. It's a theory or an ideology as such. Well, what is it's becoming? It's real true about ism channel. Well, it's important in our lives that we identify the political and social environment in which we inhabit. So you have a problem with that. That's your problem. As every day passes, it is bad enough when you were just a mouthpiece for political parties. Now, folks, this, if anything about my channel, it's been demonising Fine Gael, Fianna Fáil, the Greens, people before puberty, Sinn Féin. It's been demonising them. I think that's very fair. I've been attacking them and asking people not to vote for them. And this idiot comes up with this, that it's a mouthpiece for the political parties, pretending to be non-connected channel. Well, I have a political preference, that's been well known, I've explained that. And again, Chanel or channel, I don't know which he means there, I presume it's channel with 1L, which for any of the long-term watchers like myself, well, it's not any is wrong, for from a long-term watcher like himself. If he's the same fella as there was all about the electric cars before, then there's only one. If he's not, then there's two. So for which any long-term watchers like myself have seen to be not true. Well, I say it is true, so we're a matter of opinion whether it's true or not. Which you're sucking up to several parties on here of late. What parties? Can you please tell us what parties am I sucking up to? I support the National Party, the Irish Freedom Party, and maybe the Farmers Alliance in due course, we'll see, and independents who are against the madness that's going on, right? So, sucking up to several parties of late. Zero education and fake news. Please get back to real education and not fake news. In other words, he's begging me. So this would be the same as if you went to a car auction and you had your eye on a Toyota Corolla car. They're a few years old, maybe 10 years old, and you have 5,000 to buy it, and you know it's a good one and you want to buy it, and you see another person looking at it. Let's say you see a lady and her daughter looking at it and considering it, and you go over and you say, will you please get out of here and go away and go down to a garage? You see, you're not, Mr. User, you're not in a position at user stroke him 5. You're not in a position to order me what topics I can discuss on this channel. I am, if you're the way you appear to be, I am your opponent. I'm out to destroy your ideology. Green Coat Renewable shares, I did two videos. The 100-cent share is trading at 85 cent this morning on the 14th of February. That's what I'm out to do, to destroy that company. You want to get that very clear through your head. Now, funny enough, the replies to it are very good. I enjoyed the replies. So we have one here. Andrew Moran, 5357. He's on about you. He says to him, it's him, it's user, at user, that I'm on about the people of that ideology. I'm your sworn enemy. You get to understand that. And he says he's on about you. So it's like the greyhound after the rabbit, and the rabbit says, would you ever stop? Some hope of that, or the cat after a mouse. That's not the way the world works. You're deluded. The bottom line is, this is from Paddy 3841. The bottom line is, it's a scam like everything else that clowns in power. So to screw over the people who support them. And that's a big point I make, Paddy. They're voting for the people to destroy them. And this is the biggest mystery of our lifetime. So that's basically it, folks. That's enough now. We'll not go back to electric cars. We see now what we're dealing with. We're dealing with these people who have nothing. There's not one valid point made, or not one valid response made in any of the criticisms on electric cars. They're all, get away back, get back up the yard there, you go back to your farm and let us run the country. No way. The farmer protests all over Europe and Canada and England last week showed we forced the EU Commission to back down for now. That is the force of the farmers when the public get behind them. We had our people, the people I support, had the tractors and the muck spreaders and the whole lot. We had the hardware to deal with the situation, and you don't like it. And I am not sucking up to any political parties. That's all baloney. Okay, folks, we leave the electric cars for a while. Keep an eye on them, and I hope maybe stay away from it now for the rest of February. I think we've got the word out there. I think their whole boondoggle is collapsing, and people are beginning to see all the downsides that are being talked about out there. And often, I might be better say nothing now for a while. Who speaks the loudest and the most important in a Clint Eastwood Western action film? Who speaks the least? Who issues the least number of words in a Clint Eastwood action film? And the answer is Clint Eastwood. He only uses a few words, but that's all. The rest they're the ones that count. There's another old saying. It is impossible to reason a person out of an opinion. It is impossible to reason someone out of an opinion which they have never been reasoned into. It is impossible to reason a person out of an opinion which they have never been reasoned into. And all of these crowd that I am making a laughingstock of have no ability to reason or count at all. I gave the figures for the private sales of electric cars. He's not able to understand them. He probably doesn't have the education to understand them. And so what they do is they decide what's coming down from Eamon Ryan, what's coming down from the government. Is the government woke? Yeah, it is. What about the European Commission? Oh, are they woke? Yeah. All right, we're going with them. So whatever they say has to be right. And if any rural Irish person should dare to say your figures are all wrong, they are condemned outright. We're seeing in the world as it's evolving now that that ideology is rapidly being shaken, for it lacks any connection with reality. It is impossible to reason a person out of an opinion which they have never been reasoned into. Bye, folks. See ya.